Good afternoon. I am Brianna Hammond.
To this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Stephen Graby.
And I'm Lainey Lynch. Let's see what's happening on the Hilltop and in national news.
The diplomacy to dissolve the conflict between Russia and Ukraine seems to be failing. U.S. President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin held conversations over the phone, but the talks failed to come up with any results. A White House statement says that the United States remains prepared to engage in diplomacy. Both of the leaders agreed to continue the dialogue, and Secretary of State Antony Blinken discussed a headway with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov against the Western nation's propaganda campaign. Russia claims the U.S. is trying to provoke aggression against Ukraine. They also discussed NATO's response to Moscow's proposal on the security guarantees. Both calls came hours after the White House said that Russia could carry out an invasion into Ukraine any day now. Washington's warning intensified weeks of tensions between Russia and the West.
Vaccines for children under the age of 5 were expected to be available earlier this year. However, the Pfizer trial was not effective. This means that another trial period is required, and the result of that trial will not be available until March or April. As of now, vaccines for children between the ages of 2 and 4 are expected to be available around May, while children 6 to 24 months old might have to wait until fall of this year. In-depth clinical trials are required to ensure the effectiveness and safety of the young children. Until a vaccine is available, experts suggest the best way to protect younger children against the virus is for all eligible individuals to receive the vaccine.
For days, protesters have blocked travel and trade between America and Canada, but police have taken matters into their own hands. A Canadian judge ordered for the protesters to disperse or face arrest. Ambassador Bridge, where the protests were occurring, connecting Detroit, Michigan and Windsor, Ontario, Canada, is responsible for about a quarter of all trade between the U.S. and Canada. The protests have hindered business and trade for both countries, causing the auto industry to scale back production. According to USA Today, the Michigan auto industry has lost $51 million of direct wages due to the protest. However, after the week-long protests and blockages, Ambassador Bridge is finally open to travel and trade again.
9 officers in Phoenix are wounded during a gunfight. Early last Friday, the Phoenix police were responding to reports of a woman being shot. The first officer on scene was invited into the building by the shooter. The shooter then ambushed the officer as he approached the building's door and was shot several times. When backup arrived on scene, they managed to get the downed officer to safety. After this, a second man exited the home holding a baby girl. The baby was placed on the ground and the man was detained. As officers attempted to secure the baby, the suspect shot 4 more officers and another 4 were hit by bullet shrapnel. The officers returned fire and the suspect barricaded himself in the home. The scene was secured and the suspect was found dead inside the home with a wounded female inside the building as well. No names have been released as of yet.
A fire threatening homes in California's Laguna Beach is causing hundreds of families to leave their homes. The fire reportedly started breaking out at 4 in the morning. There are mandatory evacuations in place for Emerald Bay. North of Pacific Highway, hundreds of firefighters have been racing to the scene, and multiple helitack crews circled over the fire in the air to defend the homes in the valley. The fire ignited in the midst of record-high winter temperatures and powerful winds. East of Los Angeles, the Sycamore fire caused damage to hundreds of homes. Orange County Fire Chief Brian Fennessy says, "We no longer have a fire season, we have a fire year."
Apple released the Apple AirTags last year with the idea that they would help you to not lose items. However, it quickly turned into a concern. Since they've been released, there have been security and privacy problems. Many people were being tracked and stalked by someone putting the AirTags on someone's belongings. People who didn't have them would get notification that a device was connected and an AirTag was moving with you, and all personal information would be sent to the person who was stalking them. Apple had addressed the issue and had updated their privacy. For more information, visit www.apple.com.
Stay tuned to hear what's happening on the hilltop. Find out who's earned the Dean's List.
And find out WLU's Food Pantry grant. We'll be right back here on Newsline 14.
Going off to college can be an exciting yet stressful time for students. It's great to know you can bring all your knowledge to college. There's one thing you should know before you leave that some people forget. Microwave safety is something everyone should know. Remember to read instructions carefully and watch the microwave in order to avoid any disasters.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. Here's the campus news update. The West Liberty University Food Pantry recently received a grant from the Sodexo Stop Hunger Foundation. WLU Sodexo Food Service Manager Rebecca Bowman presented the $1,000 grant to the University Food Pantry. According to Director of Student Life and the on-campus food pantry, Kate Billings, this grant will be used to restock the food pantry shelves and provide more healthy food options for students. The food pantry hopes to purchase a refrigerator or freezer that provides students with a larger variety of meals. The Stop Hunger Foundation partnered with Sodexo to raise funds for nonprofit organizations that work to end hunger for children and students in the United States. The campus food pantry offers free meals to all students who are facing food insecurity. The food pantry is located on the second floor of the Student Union in room S17. To learn more about the campus food pantry, visit West Liberty's website.
Students of West Liberty achieving Dean's List honors can expect to see a shiny new certificate in the mail after a month-long waiting period. On Wednesday, February 9th, Fall 2021 Dean's List certificates were mailed to the permanent home addresses of students on campus. The Dean's List certificates are being received much later than they originally expected due to complications with delivery to the business office. Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management, Scott Cook, announced the original mailing date of the Dean's List honors as of the first week of January. The list of students receiving Dean's List honors for their outstanding academic performance in the fall semester of 2021 was announced on January 14th. Those attaining a 3.5 grade point average and completing a minimum of 12 semester hours are honored on the Dean's List. To find this list of students receiving Dean's List honors, visit westliberty.edu/news.
West Liberty's Student Research Competition is back and open for submissions. Students can submit research or creative work in the categories of research paper, creative writing, poster, presentation, creative work, and performance. This is the first year RECAP is opening a category for creative works of art. In the past, MadFest was the only media art and design competition for WLU students. But after changing their rules to only accept high school student submissions, RECAP is now taking the place of this category for college students interested in submitting their work. RECAP is open to all graduate and undergraduate students attending WLU submissions. To RECAP must be turned in by midnight on Friday, March 4th. The award ceremony for all first place winners and high scoring submissions will be held in person on Wednesday, April 20th at 3 p.m. in College Hall. A virtual option will be available to those interested. For more information on what is required before submission, visit westliberty.edu/recap.
If you come from one of the many artistic walks of life, ranging from traditional and digital to audio and video, then you have an awesome event to look forward to. This year's annual MadFest is looking to gather talent from many different walks of artistic life to give awards in 4 different categories. Whether you've only ever used a pen on paper or have experience in all of the given fields, you can send in some of your work to have it compete against fellow classmates and win possible prizes such as gift cards or scholarships. This serves as a great opportunity for someone to have their work critiqued by industry professionals to see what experts have to say about your work. For more information, make sure to check out westliberty.edu/MadFest. The deadline to enter is March 17th.
Random Acts of Kindness Week will take place from February 13th to February 19th. On this Thursday, February the 17th, West Liberty University will be celebrating Random Acts of Kindness Day here on campus. According to randomactsofkindness.org, Some kindness ideas that students can easily partake in include being kind to your waiter or waitress at a restaurant, planting a new tree, setting proactive and positive goals for yourself, asking a senior to reminisce on their past, praising and supporting your local businesses both online and in person, and so many more. Keep in mind this day is not only is important to be kind to others, but it is also important to be kind to yourself. This event is open to any and all West Liberty students, so come and celebrate Random Acts of Kindness Day by visiting the ballroom on campus from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Thursday, February 17th.
The Creative Arts Therapy program now offers open studio nights. The open studio nights will be every second and fourth Wednesday of the month from 5 to 7 in the evening. This event will take place in the upstairs of the Union in room S23. All students are welcome regardless of their major. No artistic experience is needed to participate in an open studio night, and all supplies will be provided. Students are welcome to stay for the full 2 hours, but are free to come and go as they please. Students in the Creative Arts Therapy program created these open studio nights to help students relax and manage their stress through art. Stop by room S23 in the Union on the second or fourth Wednesday of the month between 5 and 7 p.m. to learn more about open studio nights.
This year is the 10th year of Topper Idol. According to the Residence Life Area Coordinator and the Director of Topper Idol, Yodev Acasio, with 10 years under its belt, Topper Idol isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's an annual and highly anticipated event not only for students, but the housing office as well. It's a tradition. Last week, the Topper Idol theme was Disney. The contestants sang a variety of Disney songs, including I See the Light from Tangled, Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid, Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas, I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan, and Scream from High School Musical 3. The contestants who made it to the next round are Mary Thin-Zarkeen, Mackenzie Infante, Sarah Booth, Edward Engel, and Sean Ball. Topper Idol takes place every Tuesday in February in the College Union Ballroom at 7 p.m. This week's theme is songs from the 90s. Stay tuned next week to hear what songs were sung and what contestants made it to the final round.
If you live in the dorms and are on your own for the first time, then new problems may begin to emerge, especially those in the hygiene department. As living without the constant aid of your parents can easily show, money ends up being a real problem. And unfortunately, hygiene products are an easy deduction. If this is the case for you, as it is for so many others, then the upcoming soap-making event in the Ballroom of the Union could be something to look forward to. Today, February 16th, from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., you can have a fun time enjoying an activity you probably haven't before, while also grabbing one of these easy-to-forget cleanliness products. Make sure to swing by to enjoy the activity and make it easier for all of your friends to hang out with you.
Assistant Editor Brianna Hammond has an update on the Trumpet's next publication. Here's what she has to say.
Good afternoon. I am Brianna Hammond, Assistant Editor of the student-run newspaper, The Trumpet. Issue 14 publishes tomorrow. Here is a preview of what you can find. In this week's news section, we report on WLU alumni Martha Lash and her Black History Month events at the Ohio County Public Library's Lunch with Books program. Lash discussed the life of an African-American teacher, Eileen Miller, and her teaching experience during the Brown versus Board of Education case. You can find more about this on page 3. If you flip the page, you will find WLU's newly appointed Interim Diversity, Equity, and Inclusions Leader, Dr. Monique L. Akasi. Before joining the Hilltop, Akasi gained experience as an administrator, researcher, and education consultant at Howard and George Washington University in Washington, D.C. More on page 4. Next up, on page 5, the WLU Regional Science and Engineering Fair is back. After years of postponing due to COVID-19, the 63rd event was held at the WLU Highlands Event Center for elementary and high school students. Read more on page 5. Ending the news section this week, Creative Art Therapy Program promotes growing need for services due to traumatic experiences associated with COVID-19. Starting on page 7 of the Culture section is a Black History Month overview of events and celebrations you can find on campus. On this page, President W. Franklin Evans promotes Black History Month by saying that it's a great way to highlight and identify the accomplishments that people of color have made. Read more on page 7. Next, RECAP is back and accepting submissions from all WLU graduate and undergraduate students. RECAP now accepts creative works of art and digital media in place of MadFest, changing their focus to high school submissions. All submissions for RECAP are due on March 4th by 11:55 p.m. On the next page, we cover MadFest, WLU's art and media design competition for high school students in West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. All submissions for MadFest are due March 7th. For more information on submission requirements for both Recap and MadFest, check out pages 8 and 9. Ending the culture section on page 10 is a graphic of the WLU dance team performance at Topper Idol and a photo page dedicated to RA Appreciation Day. Starting out our opinion section on page 11 is a list of money-saving tips. For more information on how to have fun without going broke, check out page 11. Ending the opinion section on page 12, a debate between students and professors on what they prefer best, digital reading versus paper. Check out what some of the students and professors had to say on page 12. To catch up on all things Hilltopper sports, check out our sports section. This week's sports update starts on page 13 with a recap of WLU women's basketball team and their victorious win against Charleston in hard-fought matchup to the #1 team in the nation, Glenville State College. More on page 13. On page 14, men and women's track and field traveled to Kent State University in Ohio for Doug Raymond National Qualifier Meet. The two-day event ended on a high after several new personal and school records were set. To read about the records broken over last weekend's track and field team, check out page 14. On page 15, Hilltopper Baseball starts out the season with 4-game series against Union University Bulldogs in Jackson, Tennessee. Ending the season opener with 4 losses, the Toppers hope to turn it around at their next game on February 23rd against Malone University in another 4-game series. Ending the sports section, the acrobatics and tumbling team is slotted as 7th in the nation as they prepare to take on West Virginia Wesleyan on February 17th for their anticipated season opener. That concludes the Trumpet's updates for this week. To read the Trumpet, issue 14, visit thetrumpetwlu.org. See you next Wednesday for more updates. I am Brianna Hammond, reporting for Newsline 14 on Topper Station.
Stay tuned to hear about West Liberty's women's track and field athletes breaking multiple MEC records, along with other sports updates.
We'll be right back after this break.
The Paul N. Elbin Library is your destination for learning. Featuring over 200,000 items in print, audio, and video formats. Students have access to search for books of all kinds. Our state-of-the-art egg chairs give the user an immersive experience. We offer both Macs and Dells for your convenience. Please be sure to follow all signs. Our hours are Monday through Thursday 8 to 11, Fridays 8 to 4, Saturdays are closed, Sundays 5 to 11. Our friendly staff will assist in finding the right study material for you, whether it's a physical copy or on the school's database. The Paul N. Elbin Library at West Liberty University. Please call 304-336-8261.
Please, not the trash. Take me along. I can be repurposed. Just give me another chance.
It takes more than one person to make a big difference, but one person can make a difference.
Welcome back to this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Annalise Murphy.
And I'm Sean McClurg. Let's see what's happening on the hilltop in sports.
Super Bowl 56 certainly kept the viewers on the edge of their seats. The Los Angeles Rams played the Cincinnati Bengals last Sunday, February 13th, and were able to achieve their goal of winning their second Super Bowl in franchise history. The Rams were led by quarterback Matt Stafford. Even though the Bengals fell short in their first Super Bowl appearance in nearly 30 years, the team didn't go down without a fight. The Bengals were led by quarterback Joe Burrow. Starting off, the Rams got out to an early 13-3 lead. The Bengals battled back and went into halftime down 13-10. The second half started off strong for the Bengals as they scored a 75-yard touchdown on the first play. Heading into the fourth quarter, the Bengals were up 20-16. The Rams scored a touchdown, and after a big fourth down stop by Aaron Donald, the Rams won Super Bowl 56 with a final score of 23-20. Next up for the NFL, the always exciting offseason.
The Pittsburgh Penguins took over on their dreaded rivals, the Philadelphia Flyers, last night at PPG Paints Arena. In what was a night for the history books, the Pens rallied back from a 2-goal deficit to win 5-4 in overtime. While Chris Letang scored the game-winning goal, the star of the night was Sidney Crosby, who scored his 500th career goal. He is the 47th player in NHL history to score 500 goals in a career, and only the second player in Penguins history to do so, the other being Hall of Fame center Mario Lemieux. This win gives the Penguins 70 points, which is good for first in the Metropolitan Division. Their next game is tonight at 7 when they travel to Toronto, Canada to take on the Maple Leafs.
The Hilltopper baseball team kick-started their season last weekend against Union University. In their first weekend series of the year, the Hilltoppers fell to the Union Bulldogs. Starting off strong in the first few innings of Friday's doubleheader, the Hilltoppers were leading 2-0. However, after multiple big hits, the Bulldogs battled back, putting a total of 17 on the board to put the Hilltoppers out of reach of the first game. Union kept the momentum going as the Bulldogs racked up a total of 13 runs against the Hilltoppers to take Game 2. West Liberty fought back against the Bulldogs in the doubleheader Saturday, but the Bulldogs broke away both games with the scores being 8-6 and 5-2. West Liberty baseball looks to get back on the right track as they travel to Malone University to take on the Pioneers next Tuesday and Wednesday.
West Liberty's women's track team set an additional records during their Kent State meet. On Friday, February 11th, the men and women's track team headed to Kent State University for the Mountain East Conference's Indoor Championships. The two stars from the meet were Hannah Kemp and Haley Carrion, who both set new school records. What is especially impressive is that the records they beat were their own. Kemp cut nearly 10 seconds off of her record indoor mile time, attaining the 4th fastest indoor mile by an MEC woman this spring. Carrion also broke her own record, finishing the 200-meter sprint at just 26.64 seconds. This was among the MEC's top 10 this spring. Other stars from this meet were Aubrey Story, who cleared 1.55 meters in the high jump, which is the 3rd best in the MEC this spring. Olivia Combe reached a height of 9 feet, 11.75 inches in the pole vault, while both Olivia Miller and Mackenzie Ryan ranked in the top 5 for the pole vault event. The next Mountain East Indoor Conference Championship will take place this Friday and Saturday in Huntington, West Virginia.
The West Liberty men's basketball team added 2 more wins to their record this past week. On Wednesday, February 9th, the Hilltoppers took on the Glenville State College Pioneers in the ASRC, winning with a final score of 102-70. The Hilltoppers then traveled to Concorn University on Saturday, February 12th, and won with a score of 107-86. The men's team improved to a record of 22 wins and 2 losses so far on the season. The Hilltoppers will be in the ASRC tonight to take on Frostburg State University at 7:30 in the evening. They then will travel to Fairmont State University on Saturday, February 19th, and are set to take action at 4 in the evening.
The NBA All-Star teams were recently announced last Thursday, with team captains LeBron James and Kevin Durant picking players out of a pool of selected starters and reserves from each conference. Both LeBron and Durant were selected as captains for the 2nd year in a row, and Durant also received 1 extra pick due to his injury, forcing him to sit out the All-Star game. Milwaukee Bucks forward Giannis Antetokounmpo was selected first by LeBron, while 76ers center Joel Embiid was Durant's first choice. James Harden, who was traded from Kevin Durant's team that same day, was the final player to be drafted when his now former teammate passed on him, automatically giving him to Team LeBron. Both teams square off in Cleveland, Ohio for the NBA All-Star Game on February 20th on TNT.
It has been 70 days since the MLB has declared a lockout, after Commissioner Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball made its latest proposal to the Players Association on Saturday. One thing became extremely clear. Any hope of spring training games starting on time has all but vanished. Additionally, the start of opening day is in possible jeopardy. Lawyers from both sides met at MLB's Midtown headquarters, where the league made its latest proposal to the players regarding a new collective bargaining agreement, and ended up leaving the union unimpressed. The MLB imposed lockdown, which started in December, will continue on. As time continues, it begins getting closer and closer to the same time that pitchers and catchers would normally report to spring training. Athletes, coaches, and fans still continue to wait and see what the MLB has to offer at the next scheduled meeting.
The Wheeling Nailers had another multi-game week. The Nailers started off the week this past Wednesday in Kalamazoo. The Nailers defeated the Wings 4-1. Then the Nailers returned home to West Banco Arena to take on the Atlanta Gladiators. This was the first home game against the Gladiators since 2013. With the game going into overtime, they went away with the victory 3-2. On Saturday, the Nailers played the Fort Wayne Comets, a team they had not played since before Thanksgiving. Again, this game went to overtime and they came away with a victory 4-3. 3 out of the last 4 games the Nailers have played have now gone to overtime, and they now sit at second place in the Central Division of the ECHL. On Saturday, February 19th, the Nailers will travel to Reading to take on the Royals at 4 in the afternoon.
And that's it for the sports update this week. I know I'm ready to hear about these warmer temperatures from Caitlin.
Stay with Newsline 14 on Topper Station. The 5-day forecast is coming up next, right after the break.
Please put Blacktop down on the track. My shins burn. And look at these guys running right here. Their shins burn too. This stuff was supposed to be done before we started school. And look at us now, dying.
Ah, my shins!
Please, not the trash. Take me along. I can be repurposed. Just give me another chance.
It takes more than one person to make a big difference, but one person can make a difference.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm Caitlin Reynolds, and this is your weather report. The weather is slowly rising as the temperature right now is 60 degrees, with clouds peeking through the sun, the highest it has ever been in a very long time. As it drifts back into the afternoon, it will be 62 degrees with minimum clouds, and the low for the evening will be 51 degrees with clouds. The wind speed will be 16 miles per hour, and the wind gust is 30 miles per hour. Now that's all for the current weather. On the hilltop, let's breeze to the current temperatures of the U.S. Now grab your sunglasses, California, because you are running about 67 degrees with no clouds, and the lowest temperature for the day is 41 degrees. Speaking of the cold, Utah is running 39 degrees with snow flurries, with the lowest only being 24 degrees. Texas currently has the warmest weather with 69 degrees with the rain showers, and the lowest being 38. Moving towards north of Utah, Montana's high is 61 degrees with rain, and the low is sadly 22 degrees. In Florida, it is sunny with the temperatures reaching 78 degrees, and the low is 62. Going north to Vermont, it is only reaching 42 degrees with the low being 40 degrees. It's currently 60 degrees in the Ohio Valley. We'll be right back. The 5-day forecast is coming up next.
%37% of 20 to 39-year-olds reported short sleep duration. This could be due to late-night distractions or an active mind. Being deprived of sleep can have an effect on your academic performance and can make you fall behind. So set a schedule and stick to it. You need sleep.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm Caitlin Reynolds with the 5-day forecast. Thursday will bring surprises with rain throughout the day. The temperatures will be 64 degrees with the lowest being 51 degrees. Friday will bring clouds covering up part of the sun. The temperatures will be 31 and 24 degrees. The weekend will bring some colder weather, with Saturday being 36 and the low of 20 degrees with little clouds. We will get warmer weather on Sunday. It will be a high of 52 and a low of 37 degrees. Starting off the week, it will be partly cloudy with a high of 59 degrees and the low being 47 degrees.
Thank you for watching this edition of Newsline 14. I'm Stephen Gravy.
And I'm Lainey Lynch. Be sure to tune in next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Thank you for watching Newsline 14 on Topper Station.